What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Or if you are new here, welcome. I am WWE Wolfman today because we are continuing talking about wrestling, talking about, just all things sports entertainment because SummerSlam Night 2 just happened. I know I'm doing this much later than usual. I had some difficulties earlier. I wasn't able to get the video out immediately for you guys, but I'm here now to talk about SummerSlam. And what a interesting SummerSlam it was. Because the first night, as I told you guys, I just thought the first night was good, not great. I thought there were some issues with the first night. And then this night, man, this is drastically different. Part of me loved it. Loved it. There are some matches here, especially we'll get into the main event. We're going to break down all the matches tonight for you guys. But we're going to talk about the main event, and that is an all-timer. Straight up an all-timer. It was so good. But then I also had issues with the fact that not a single, other than the very end, this is probably why I liked the last match, is other than the very end, there was not even a single title change. It was just, I felt like, okay, so-and-so got to retain it. All right, so-and-so got to retain it. Okay, so-and-so got to retain it. Okay, so-and-so got to retain it. Until the very end, and you were like, oh, okay, they switched out fine. So I felt like it was a little boring. I understand a lot of these wrestlers have had their titles for short periods of time. Dominic Mysterio could have lost it. I'm sorry. He could have lost that title because he's had that title for 105 days. You're telling me that you can't have him lose a match at WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, SummerSlam? Like, come on, get out of here. That's ridiculous. So some stuff like that I thought was not the greatest. But when it comes to the matches and how they performed overall, I thought all that worked even better at night two. Starting off the day, we had Triple H. He got us hyped. He came out, did the whole, "Are you ready?" And that was really dope. That was really cool. Really got us all pumped up. Then we got to the first match, which was one of my most anticipated matches. It was Rhea Ripley versus Naomi versus Io Sky. So you had the triple threat match happen. Rhea Ripley is my girl. Everyone knows me, knows I love Rhea Ripley, so was definitely excited to see this match. And it paid off. This match was actually spectacular. I thought this was a very well done match. The moves, the way they all played about it, there wasn't really any botches or anything. This one worked really well. There was a big botch later we're going to get to in another match that was very noticeable, but this one, it worked out really well, and I thought the match went overall really, really great. Of course, I was rooting for my girl Rhea Ripley because I'm not a huge fan of Naomi, or even Io Sky I would have been okay with, but I thought Io Sky, the way she was like, just I love the beginning of the match, how Naomi just runs outside the ring and she doesn't want to wrestle, so she's just trying to get away from everything, and she's just waiting on them to basically fight each other in the ring. She's just chilling outside, putting her leg on the barricade, hoping that everyone else will just start that the other two would just start fighting in the ring, and they don't. They form a temporary alliance, and they just kind of sit and watch Naomi until she gets inside the ring, and then Rhea Ripley comes out there, and that's when the action starts. But I just found that kind of funny at first. And there's a few other comedic moments in this match that worked really well, I thought. So yeah, overall, was really, really satisfied with it. I don't know if I was satisfied with the result because Rhea Ripley, she does her finisher, and then it looks like she is straight up about to get the win. Right when uh, Naomi Sky just sneaks up out of nowhere and rolls Rhea Ripley in for the pin. And I thought, okay, you know, doing one of those little cheap kind of, you actually didn't earn the victory. You just rolled somebody up and just kind of pinned them down. All right. So that's how it ended up being. Thought it was okay, the result, but the match was actually spectacular. Then the following match also was really good, which was the first time that we've ever gotten to see a 12-person tag team tables, ladders, and chairs match, which is pretty crazy. You got to see that many people just deck it out with one another. And I thought this was really good, but at the same time, I felt like it was almost too many people because it was hard to follow. And at some point, there was people who weren't even part of the team that were just competing with each other that was running in there. Like the women, they started running in there and started attacking each other and such. And I thought that was good and all, or fun, but I just, you know, there's way too much going on in this match for me. And maybe it's just my dumb brain. I understand. Uh, I understand I can, not be smart at times. Maybe it's just that, but I thought there was way too much, and they could have trimmed this match down a little bit, made it like six. Made it like it was 6 tag teams, so you could have made it like 4 tag teams, something like that would have made it better. So yeah. Anyways, that was pretty cool. It was also really cool to see the Dudley Boys there actually in the audience, and Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy actually there in the audience as well. Really liked that a lot. I thought that was really fantastic to see them in there because this is the 25th anniversary of a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Those tag teams invented the tables, ladders, and chairs match. I would have liked to have seen Edge and Christian in the audience as well, but they weren't there, understandably, because they're with All Elite Wrestling. So I guess, All Elite Wrestling and WWE seem to just not like each other. At least with TNA, they do like each other a bit, so they bring in these TNA wrestlers in there. But that was really cool to see them. And I heard that apparently the Hardy Boys and Dudley Boys are going to be wrestling for like the last time ever on TNA or something. There's going to be like this tag team match. I have to tune in for that because that's going to be really cool to see them wrestle for the first time, for the last time ever. But yeah, that was a really cool match. I loved how they were setting up the 4 tables and everything, and Street Profits, they were setting up 4 tables for for people just to fall through with their ladder. You got to see someone break through the ladder. I thought that was interesting. One of the women, she broke through the ladder down there. I was like, dang, this match is brutal. And that was one thing. So going back to I know this is kind of, we're going out of order a bit now. But one thing about the Rhea Ripley match I was disappointed with. I loved the match. But the Rhea Ripley match, I thought, why didn't they? It's a no disqualification. So why did we at least not see any chair, any form of like a pogo stick or anything like that? I thought there would at least be a form of something, but there was nothing there. So that was kind of a bummer. And then this match definitely had a lot of that kind of action that we like to see with tables, ladders, chairs, all that good type of stuff. So yeah, I thought that was really, really spectacular. Then the match right after that, I believe that was, if I remember correctly, that was then um, the I think that was the Charlotte, or not Charlotte Flair, the Becky Lynch match, or was that something else? Let me double check the roster and just the order it went. Um, we had yeah. Okay, so I was right. So the next match we had was the Becky Lynch match where she decided to go up against Lyra Valkyra, and this match. Oh, also I want to say before I get into this match, the actual table massage and chairs match for the second one, it was a good match. Enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty fun. The I don't know, them retaining the belts, the Wyatt Six or whatever, them retaining the belts, it's fine. That one I didn't really care if they lost the belt or retained the belt. I wasn't huge on. I mean, I kind of wanted Street Profits to win, um, but it's fine. I or actually, deep down personally, I kind of wanted Fraxium to win. I think Fraxium's kind of dope. Not gonna lie. So, but they didn't. So it's fine. I'll just it's whatever. But yeah. In terms of this Becky Lynch match, so any of y'all know who follow me know I'm a huge Becky Lynch fan. I love her. She's maybe before Rhea Ripley came in, she was my favorite female superstar. Absolutely love Rhea Ripley. She's just, or I love Rhea Ripley too, but Becky Lynch, love Becky Lynch, and I thought she showed up and she did a really good job today. Me, however, me being such a Becky Lynch fan, I still wanted Lyra to win today, just because I felt bad for Lyra. I felt like this is the title change that should have happened. If you were, well, or the Dominic Mysterio one. Dominic Mysterio one, definitely. We're going to get to that. I'm pissed at that. But the Lyra one definitely should, I would have been okay with happening, because, yeah, this one, I just, I don't know. I feel really bad for her, because now she's not going to have a chance to ever compete against Becky Lynch for the championship again. And we don't know how long Becky Lynch is planning to keep the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So she's going to have to wait until someone else has the championship to actually compete for the Intercontinental Championship. And I feel bad because Lyra was the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. So I feel like she deserves that kind of level of respect more from the industry. So I was really into this match at first. Then the botch happened. I don't know if y'all noticed this. All right. This was the botch that happened in this match. And I'm not going crazy. I will literally rewind it or fast forward it or whatever to that section tomorrow to make sure that I'm not going crazy. Or maybe even tonight, just to make sure I'm not going crazy. But when Becky Lynch got the zip tie out, by the way, really dope. When she like ties Lyra's hands together and Lyra has to like fight her with her hands like this basically the whole time. Thought that was really dope. That was really badass. But the the thing that I noticed was when she's in the zip ties, at one point, her hand comes out of the zip tie like this, and she's completely free, and she's laying there. And even Michael Cole says it. He's like, "Did she just get like loose from the zip ties?" And then you see Lyra stick her hand back inside the zip tie like this, and she's just like sitting there. So it gives you the idea that that zip tie was never supposed to be loose like that, and she was never supposed to lose her hands in the zip ties until later, until when she actually is, trying to break them free or whatever. So that was kind of a botch I noticed in this match that made the match kind of a little more underwhelming for me. But I will say it was really cool to see Lyra like underneath the ring with the fire extinguisher, and she blows the actual uh, fire extinguisher stuff right into Becky's eyes and blinds Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch is like, covering up her eyes and everything. I thought that was really dope. So I'll give them credit there. I thought, some of the moves that they did with the chair was really painful, really interesting. And yeah, this match was definitely as brutal as we were hoping it would be. I kind of was hoping they would use that crowbar at some point. They never did. I guess. I mean, I understand they don't actually want to hurt somebody, and like the crowbar, you can't actually fake that. Like when they fake the table, they always have a slit under the table. When they fake falling through the ladder, they always have a slit in the ladder. Stuff like that. You can't really fake that stuff with a crowbar. But I'm sure there's a way that you could still like maybe lift your hands up like this as you're getting hit, and then the impact makes it sound like you're getting hit with the crowbar. I'm sure there's still a way to go about it that they could have done. I still would have liked to have seen them use the crowbar, but they didn't. They just kind of was holding it and screaming at each other with it. So kind of underwhelming there. Then we got a return of Bailey, which was interesting. But that was fun to see Bailey come back. She straight up looked like an Oompa Loompa. I don't know if it was just me or not like a Oompa Loompa, but like with her hair and what she was wearing, she looked like a Thing 1 or Thing 2 from Cat in the Hat. It's like, I don't know. That was just me personally. Was not really a fan of her fit per se, but was really cool that she came back. I've always been a big Bailey fan. I feel like she deserves better in the industry than what she's gotten for. She's really excellent. And I thought it was cool how Becky was like trying to get her on her side to attack Lyra, and then she just said, "No, I'm not going to do this." And then she started beating up on Becky. Said, "You basically betrayed me," which she did. I thought that was really interesting. Added some story elements. Now that's going to be a story probably tomorrow that they're going to bring up on Monday Night Raw about Bailey, and you're probably going to see it a Bailey and Becky Lynch exchange. You're probably going to see them set up a rivalry there for the next event that they do. So that should be pretty fun. But yeah, the way the match ends with Bailey trying to punch Becky Lynch, and then she lands the punch on Lyra for Becky to then be able to finish it and then get the pin. I thought that was all really interesting and fun. I just felt bad for Lyra. Felt like she deserved better. But again, this title change, or this title, her retaining the title, doesn't piss me off to the point of something like Dominic Mysterio. We'll get to that. I'm still livid about that. But then you get to the match, the US Championship match, which was which was between Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. And I love me a good steel cage match. One, this was very short. Very interesting coming off of the Becky Lynch and Lyra match, because the Becky Lynch and Lyra match, up to that point, we'll get to a longer match here soon, but up to that point, it was the longest match of the night. It went on for at least 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes or more. But this one was really short. Maybe arguably the shortest match of all of SummerSlam of this year. Well, okay. If you don't count the Seth Rollins match, because that's a cash-in. I don't really count that. That's basically cheating to count that. But if you don't count that, this is probably the shortest match of SummerSlam this year. Maybe. It's just, I don't know, because the AJ one was also pretty short. But this one happened, and I liked it. Thought it was a fine match, I guess. It was fine. It was nothing to write home about. I did think it was kind of cool that Jago Fatu got handcuffed to the steel cage. that was fascinating to me. That was really fun. But you know that it's fake. When he can freaking rip his handcuffs off, you know that those handcuffs were either very loose or they were like fake or something like that. But still, it was really cool to watch nonetheless. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I thought Jimmy Uso coming back for this match was pretty fun return. You know, Triple H promised us some fun little cameos and surprises. And we got Bayley, we got Jimmy Uso, and then we got a huge one at the end we'll talk about. But yeah, those ones, that Jimmy Uso popping in there, doing what he did was pretty cool. So glad to see him back, and glad that he was able to be there for this match. So don't have a whole lot to say on here. Him retaining the title, sure, fine. You know, you could have done a title switch for this one if you wanted to, because it's the United States Championship, so it's not really that big a deal, but it's fine. Whatever. Then you move on to the match that I am eager to talk about, because, like I said, this pissed me off. So we are now moving on to the actual Intercontinental Championship match, which was Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. And the reason why this match utterly pissed me off was Dominic Mysterio has had this title for 105 days, now 106 days. This is getting out of control. That is far more than enough time to have a title. I just think that this is way too long a title reign for someone like him. You could have easily given AJ Styles this moment and had him win the Intercontinental Championship, something like that. It's just, I don't know. I was bored to tears in this match. This match was just not good. I thought it was just, it wasn't even like done well. Like the moves, they were just they were slow. They didn't feel like their hearts were in it. And then the result happens, and I was just really disappointed with the result. So yeah, overall, I just was not a fan at all of this at all in the slightest. It's, I hope, I really, really hope to God that soon they give someone else an Intercontinental Championship belt, because I've noticed a trend lately with WWE is that unless you're huge events like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, or SummerSlam, that for the most part, titles don't change at other big event stuff. I used to call them pay per view, but they're not even really on pay per view anymore. That these big event stuff, because those are usually the ones where the titles switch over, and then you see someone keep the title for a long time up until the next WrestleMania or whatever, and then they lose the title at WrestleMania, and that's like kind of like the whole thing. So I've been noticing this trend, and I just really hope that they break that trend with Dominic Mysterio soon, because I just feel like this is getting way too out of hand for his character. So I'm not a fan of this choice. Wish they went the other route. But whatever. I will say AJ Styles' actual homage to Eddie Guerrero and him entering through the arena like with his car and everything. I thought that was really, really cool. Love seeing that little homage to the legend that was Eddie Guerrero. So thought that was pretty neat. And he even used some of his moves, he even did a few stuff there that was all really good. So I like that. Then you end the night on the main event of the evening, which was John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Here's the thing. Speaking of here's the thing. Before we get to this match, I see Brian's comment here. Yes, the name of the channel did get renamed. I can't change the background on the channel for whatever reason. Like the background photo is giving me hell right now. So it's hard to change that out. But the name of the channel has changed. I decided to go a different route with the channel and give it more of a unique name. So now we are titled Here's the Thing. So that's going to be the channel name, because I say that a lot on my videos. So I felt like that's really fitting. So that's now officially the new name for this channel. Instead of Mega Movie Z or Mega Movies, however we were pronouncing it, this one is now Here's the Thing. So yeah, really excited for that. Anyways, with that said, back to our discussion on SummerSlam and the main event. I heard John Cena was supposed to be in this match, but I didn't see him. I was just waiting for him. I didn't see him. See what I did there? Sorry. That was bad. But yeah. This one was another really good match. Honestly, no. This is not just a really good match. This was a great match. A legendary match. Like, this is going to go in the record books for one of the best SummerSlam main events that I've ever seen. This was phenomenal piece of entertainment here. Like man, where to start on this? So first off, it was a street fight. So the actual street fight element of it was for the most part cool. I do wish they actually would have gone out into the street. This is called a street fight, and they straight up which by the way, going backwards, I forgot to mention with the Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles match about the whole chair situation. Thought that was really funny and kind of interesting. But yeah, I do wish that this match they would have actually gone out in the street and actually started fighting and then worked their way back into the ring. That's how I remember street fights. Street fights, you start going into the locker rooms, you start fighting outside eventually. You maybe find like a car outside and you just slam somebody's body onto the car, stuff like that. Like that's what I'm used to street fights being. And then you work your way back into the ring and then you pin them in the ring. That's what I'm used to. So I do wish they would have done that, but they still went outside the ring. They walked way out into the crowd. They even went under the stage and they did that really cool ass thing where he's like in the elevator shaft, because some people would do those entrances where they'll like elevator up to the main top, and John Cena is like holding up Cody Rhodes as he goes up there, and then he like just slams him right into the floor. Thought that was a fascinating match. Or a fascinating element to the match, let's say. So that was really cool. I loved seeing Cena do the attitude adjustment through the table, the announcer's table. I thought that was really fantastic. And then there's this back and forth brutality, breaking through tables, hitting with chairs, doing all this sorts of good stuff. At one point, you see Cody Rhodes take the actual piping from the turnbuckle, and he pulls the piping out, and he starts using the piping as a weapon. And I thought that was fascinating as well. So I really liked that a lot. Just imagine having been there in the audience and you just see these two wrestlers right there in the audience just wailing at each other. It makes me upset that at the time tickets were on sale. I was in between jobs trying to look for jobs. It makes me upset because I would have been there in a heartbeat if I could actually afford to have gone to SummerSlam. I would have been there in a heartbeat, and maybe I could have been seeing John Cena and Cody Rhodes walk right past me in the street fight. That would have been really cool. But I am very happy for all those people who got to experience that. That's always such a neat thing to see it that close and personal. So that's great. And these two are just such good showmen. You know, they're such good showmen. They're such good wrestlers. You just know they've had years of experience. And I thought it was insane. Some of the levels here that they took it, like how Cody Rhodes does the crossroads 3 times to him. He does his finishing move 3 times to John Cena, and then pins him, and then John Cena kicks out. And then you get John Cena doing the attitude adjustment, and then another attitude adjustment. Then he takes him, puts him on the top turnbuckle, and then does an attitude adjustment from the top turnbuckle. And then he still managed to kick out of that. And it was just a back and forth. And it was just it was brutal. It was entertaining. It was even emotional. I started tearing up at this match because you really see the respect Cody Rhodes has for John Cena and the Cena that we all know and love. And at the beginning of the match, you know, he was thanking him for everything he did. At the end of the match, he salutes him, does the whole salute to Cena, because, you know, he realizes that Cena's only got 4 months left. So this is, you know, Cena's last time to really compete and to really give it his best kind of a work he can give. So yeah, I thought this was all really well orchestrated, well done. They went exactly with the prediction that I was predicting. I was predicting that we would go the route of a redemption arc for John Cena through this match at SummerSlam, Cody Rhodes, that he would beat John Cena and it would basically humble John. And then that would be his redemption arc to them becoming a good guy again in the industry, a face, if you will, in the industry. So I'm glad I was right about that. And the big surprise of the night happened in this match, and I was not expecting this, but it makes sense. they bring out Brock Lesnar, who personally I cannot stand Brock Lesnar. I think he's not just someone who plays a heel and is a nice guy. Like, I know a few people who have played heels and are actually nice guys. I've met a couple of them before. I can personally tell you, like, I've met the Miz before at a convention. He's a super duper nice guy in real life. So, there are heels out there who are very nice people, but Brock Lesnar just comes across straight up as a bully, straight up as someone who just is not a good person. And when I read the news about him, that apparently he is like accused of child sex trafficking. It's go read that. Look it up. Like, it's in the news. It's like him and Mr. McMahon. They're both in these like accusations of sex trafficking and a bunch of other bad stuff. Um so I don't know if it's child sex trafficking, but it's sex trafficking. It's some really bad stuff. Go look that up. I think it's really problematic right now to bring back Brock Lesnar after everything we've been hearing. I think this is extremely problematic. You could have brought back like a Bobby Lashley. That would have been interesting. You could have brought Ryback back, or you could have brought, I don't know, you could have brought someone else back who could really make Cena scared, but or even like The Rock and set up another The Rock versus Cena match or something. I don't know. I feel like having Brock Lesnar come back is just not a good look for WWE right now. I mean, yeah, it makes sense that Cena and Brock Lesnar having this rivalry makes sense because they've had rivalries in the past. They've had some of the best rivalries in the past. And, this is a great way to make Cena into a face again, is by having Brock Lesnar be the heel this time, the bad one, if you will. So I think that all that's kind of I think it can be well written. I just don't know how I feel about him coming back. Like, they set up literally, this only lasted a month. They set up the Randy Orton and John Cena rivalry, right? That happened like a month or so ago. That was probably one of, if not the best rivalries in all of WWE. It's like, for me, the best rivalries of all time. Maybe goes CM Punk and Jeff Hardy at top. Then at like number 2 is Randy Orton and John Cena. Those have been the best rivalries of all time. So the fact that they barely set up a rivalry there and then just like moved on past it, then went to Cody Rhodes, I don't know. I was disappointed. I felt like you could have brought back out Randy Orton. Then maybe Randy Orton does have a legit rivalry for the whole next 4 months with John Cena. It would have brought his whole career full circle. But I don't know. I felt like Brock Lesnar, it's kind of a typical choice, kind of a boring choice to bring back. Not gonna lie. Now, I see some of your comments here. It says here, which SummerSlam appearance lived up to the hype versus let down? Did you hit up a theater? How was it? So yeah, I got to see part 2 in a theater. It was really cool seeing it on the big screen, seeing every, like, the speakers play loud when the music was playing, all that. That was really, really fun. I thought that added to the experience. In terms of, did an appearance live up to the hype? I personally, I thought, Bailey coming back, I thought that lived up to the hype. I think the biggest one I'm let down by is maybe Brock Lesnar coming back. I don't know. I know everyone else is going to think that's like the coolest thing ever, but I was let down by that. I think you could have done someone better than Brock Lesnar. So that's just me personally. But a great match. I love that John Cena, at the end, he was like, he shook his hand. They lifted up together the belt, and he just full on just had mad respect for Cody Rhodes and everything Cody Rhodes has been, just because Cody Rhodes has earned this too. He's worked his way up to the top. He has earned getting this title, this WWE Championship. He has absolutely earned it. So I'm very happy for him. Very glad he was able to do that. And then we have here Brian, tonight's title versus standard titles are subject to be renamed. Okay, so they're talking about something else. And then streaming predictions, did RIP Hulk help the promo? That's another thing. I will say this, not to get political or anything, but like WWE has gone very MAGA. Like they're very right wing right now. I just noticed this, and it's kind of a bummer because I know there's people in WWE who vote blue who aren't right wingers, and there are people who are more left, and there are people who do lean more right in WWE. But I don't know, because the ads were showing like Triple H with at the White House with the president, and then there was Hulk Hogan and we know what that situation was like when you hear the news about Hulk Hogan. And then now there's the whole Brock Lesnar stuff. So I don't know. I just feel like they're starting to lean more towards that. And I'm kind of not here for that. I'm here for the great matches. I'm here for the great storylines, but I hope they kind of turn away from that stuff eventually. But in terms of overall, what I thought of SummerSlam 38, I thought it was a very good SummerSlam. Some matches were better than others. There, like I said, there were some botches that happened. And then there's matches like the main event where it's like an all-timer match, something we are going to remember in the record books years from now when we read about SummerSlam. It's gonna pop up that match was the main event, you know. So overall a really great SummerSlam, one of the best SummerSlams for sure. And yeah, let me know down below, guys. What did you think of this SummerSlam? Also, what do you think of the new title for our channel? Here's the thing: by having it not titled after movies, I mean, sure, we have show and movie reviews underneath the tag there, but by not having it titled that, now we can review more wrestling content on the channel for you guys. We can review more of like other content that we weren't able to review before. So let us know if you would like to see more wrestling content reviewed on the channel, because I love wrestling. This channel was actually initially going to be a channel purely dedicated to wrestling at one point. I was going to I wanted to make a YouTube channel to just discuss pro wrestling. I never went through with that because I'm passionate about pro wrestling. I want to talk about it, but maybe now that with the name change and everything, I can finally implement talking about pro wrestling more into the channel. So yeah, I'm really excited for this new change, guys, on the channel and where we're going. I think there's a lot to look forward to here. We have a lot of reviews coming up for you guys. We have weapons coming out this weekend, so we're going to be reviewing that, as well as Freakier Friday, so stay tuned for that. Then whenever it comes to TV shows, we will be reviewing episode per episode for Alien Earth. We'll also be reviewing episode per episode for Peacemaker, speaking of John Cena. And we also, I don't know if I'm going to do it this year or next year, but me and the channel team are kind of discussing doing a ghost review series called August instead of August for like the spooky season in October. So we are contemplating it, but we're thinking about whether we do it next year, like plan it way out in advance, have it all set up and scheduled and such, and then work on it, or if we do it this year. So, but we'll let you guys know whenever we get around to it, if that's something we do. And I'm looking forward to all this. Spooky season is here. We'll definitely be doing a lot of stuff. I have great ideas for October, so stay tuned for all those and much, much more, guys. Thank you all for tuning in to the SummerSlam Night 2 review and breakdown. I can't wait to tune into Monday Night Raw tomorrow, see what happens there. But I'm also really looking forward to just discussing more wrestling events with you guys. And I would really like to do this, maybe even react to some of these wrestling events for you guys on the channel. Do like an actual commentary on them or something. That could be fun down the road if you guys are into that. So yeah, let me know what you guys all think down in the comments below, what your favorite matches were, what your favorite returns were, all that. So I will see you all in the next one. Until then, I'll never give up. Your time is now. Your time is now. My time is up. Trying to do a bunch of motivational John Cena quotes for you guys to end the video on. But have a good one, guys. We will see you all later.